Hello there. Welcome in. Golden State, Phoenix, our first broadcasted game of the week. It's a rematch here for both Golden State and the Warriors in what figures to be a pivotal one. The Suns are making their way up the standings in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the Warriors, of course, sitting atop the conference. The Suns now up into fifth. They're trying to chase down the Thunder and the Kings for that 3-4 spot. You would think probably if I'm Phoenix, I want to get to number 3. I want to get on the opposite side of Golden State. Of course, this is the rematch of the last two Western Conference Finals. It's taken a minute, as we could start with Phoenix. It's taken a minute for the Suns to get here. Huge offseason. They really, that sweep at the hand of Golden State last season really spurred them into retooling this entire roster for the most parts, or tearing down around the foundations. And the pieces that are left, they're Jacoby Cleaves, because you're not going to get rid of him. He's 1C, if you will, I think. If it's Jalen Justice, Amari Swift, and Jacoby Cleaves in the NBA, there's a couple other guys. I think Darius Dixon you can loop into that list on any given night. Deonte Dixon can probably be thrown into that. But Amari Swift's right there, right? He's the reigning MVP as Jonathan Kuminga dunks on him on the flop. But you're not moving away from him. They obviously don't tear down around Cade Cunningham. Cunningham is out for this one with an injury. He's not expected to miss much more time. And then they kept Carson Hughes, and Carson Hughes has just been a really good point guard for this team. Nice scorer. He's had a nice season here as he gets a step-back triple off the backboard, or off the back rim. But those are the pieces that they kept. Nathan Servin, gone. The Marcus Young Jr., gone. Really, outside of those three, the one major piece of this rotation from last season that's still in place is Anthony Edwards, and he's the sixth man. So it's just not a roster that looks very similar to what it did a season ago. Now, Lawrence Marcotte is starting at the 5. Jaden Springer is still a valuable piece for this. But, of course, Malik Hightower now in at the 3 next to Jacoby Cleaves. This is I wouldn't call it a title or bust season, but this is a season that the Suns really need to turn around after the really, really bad start that they had, kind of fluttering around 500. They've been a lot better since then. I think this is getting lost. I think the Suns, as a contender, have gotten lost a little bit, right? I've been on the record talking about how good the Sacramento Kings are. Utah is number 2. The Thunder have been very good this season, though I think that's, I wouldn't call it fool's gold, but it just feels not unsustainable, but maybe not necessarily contention worthy. This will be a big offseason for Tobias Bell. But for the Suns, here we are. They're starting to click. They've got 2 wings that can hang with anybody. They've got size inside. They've got secondary and tertiary scorers that can do a lot of great things. This is a dangerous basketball team, and as we've got ourselves a 22-15 game, and Aiden Lucas doing Aiden Lucas things, my God, he might be my favorite player to watch in all of the NBA. Not because he's awesome, which he is, not because of that, but just because he's just so unstoppable at 7'8". But here, the Suns, to finish the thought, we need to take them, not seriously. I think seriously, of course we're going to take them seriously. Let's not overlook them in our infatuation with Sacramento and with Utah. They're going to be a dangerous team, and they can shoot the lights out, as we're seeing right now as they've cut the lead to 6. They're going to shoot the lights out. It's a team that's got a lot of nice pieces. They're going to have to find a way to slow him down. I think the biggest regret for them probably was trying to upgrade the bench pieces. How long can you rely on Jaden Springer and Anthony Edwards as Jonathan Kuminga gets 2 to go here? I don't know that their depth is elite, but their starting 5 is right there, right? Carson Hughes is a good three-point shooter, as we just saw. He's a guy that can get you 18 points a game. Obviously, Jacoby Cleaves is a cheat code as he's going to work inside here to make it a 2-point game. This is a really good basketball team, obviously. Depending on the matchup, I think they could be dangerous as Jacoby Cleaves gets another 3 to go, and we've got ourselves a 1-point game. I think it's a big legacy moment, though. Cade Cunningham, 2 NBA Finals in Oklahoma City, loses both of them. He, of course, comes to Phoenix, and has 2 Western Conference Finals under his belt, really helping the Suns propel up as Javon rolled with the shimmy afterwards. I think this is a big moment for him because his legacy in the NBA is at a crossroads. What is Cade Cunningham? He was the best guy on runner-ups, second best guy on a conference runner-up. A championship from Cade Cunningham, I think, changes his landscape. Right now, he was good, but he was never elite, right? He's an All-NBA guy, but you start look at Jason Sanders. Jason Sanders' entire aura changes with that NBA Finals, actually over the Thunder. That was over the Thunder. That changes everything about who we think of Jason Sanders, right? He goes to Sacramento, and it's like, okay, well, now they've got 2 1A guys with him and Tyrese Alston. Cade Cunningham doesn't have that, and so he's going to have to find a way. And meanwhile, I think we're in the honeymoon phase right now for guys like Amari Swift and Jacoby Cleaves. That's going to come to an end. These guys are on their 5th year or 5th contracts. I think Swift might be a year or 2 on the other side of that. I'd have to refresh my memory, but this is kind of like rubber meeting the road level, right? We've seen this before. Guys like LeBron James. He 2007. You make the NBA Finals, but when you stop getting there, people start to wonder, hey, what's your ceiling? I think that's the case. That's really where Jacoby Cleaves sits. As a mistake there by Malik Hightower leaves Jonathan Kuminga wide open. If he doesn't get a title, within the next 2 or 3 seasons, which feels unfair for a guy of his skill set, I do really think that we start kind of asking, hey, what is he? Is he a Cade Cunningham, right? This era's Cade Cunningham, who's awesome, who's a great basketball player, as the Warriors have stretched this thing to 9 here in the 3rd quarter, or is this, or is he an elite? Is he Jalen Justice? Is he that type of guy who can completely change the NBA? It's important to know and kind of fascinating to think about as we shift to the Warriors. We haven't seen multiple-time NBA champions outside of Golden State over these last handful of seasons. We thought we were going to get that from Jalen Justice. We didn't. We thought maybe Jason Sanders and the Cavs could get there. We didn't. The Magic have made a couple. We really haven't seen many teams make multiple NBA Finals. I mean, you got the Magic and the Thunder. That's kind of it. The Hawks are the only other team in this era that's really been to multiple championships. They went 1-1. To the Golden State, they're up big here. This is probably getting out of hand here in the 4th quarter as a nice bucket inside for Branko Todorovic. Question mark for the Warriors. Said this on the league update. I think it would be a shock if they don't win the championship. It would be a massive upset, and you're seeing why right here. 16-point game. Aaron Triano getting a bucket to go to make it 19. Here's Dixon again. He's working on the much smaller Carson Hughes. This should be an easy bucket in the 4th, and it is. 21-point game. This thing was close at the half. If we make the assumption here that this thing is over, this thing was close at the half. Why? Because Golden State in the 2nd quarter still has not quite figured it out. Golden State's 3rd quarters patented. We saw that. They explode. They get to flip this game from being close to being a blowout. That 2nd quarter, they haven't quite figured it out as Aaron Triano misses the corner 3, looking for his 2nd. They haven't figured out the 2nd quarter. So if I'm looking at a way that this team falls, I think that's where it is. They've made some roster adjustments, some rotation adjustments, as Jermaine Trimble can't get that to go, to ensure that they've got at least 2 of Kuminga, Dixon, and Roll on the floor for as much of the game as possible. But we've seen in those 2nd quarters, the offense goes stale. And that's not a great sign for a team that's trying to win another championship. But these guys are playing like 34 minutes right now. Once Golden State starts ramping up their 3 stars to 36, 38 minutes per game, 40 when necessary, so long as they can hold up. And let's not forget, Javon Roll, he's in his 30s. Jonathan Kuminga, he's in his 30s. If they can hold up, I think this team... That's why. But the pathway, if you want to find the hole in the armor for Golden State, is Javon Roll gets another 3 to go. That's it right there. It's the inability for this group to survive in the non-star minutes. As this thing moves to 90-67, we're going to let you know that that's a wrap. Golden State, a big win over the Phoenix Suns. They are going to continue to sit atop the Western Conference, no surprise there. Meanwhile, falling back a little bit is the Phoenix Suns. They are trying to stay out of the play-in, which seems likely. The Suns probably are going to survive that race to be a top 6 team. But that is our game. We'll come back with our next broadcast game. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you again on the next episode.